European rugby is back. And today, we're all about the greatest club competition in the world.
I think it's getting harder and harder for English teams to do it, which is why Northampton's run last year was so impressive.
Put your hands up if you ever wanted to lose. And he put his hand up. He was the only one. He said, I've got the perfect game plan. We took 80.
Sione, 2 kilometres!
Litchfield has got Tommy Freeman, who's in for his seconds.
Statement of intent from Jack Willis.
Duco, BLDRE, are you not entertained?
We've had 5 French winners in a row. Who can stop the streak?
I think the winners will be
Bordeaux. Bordeaux,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah, agree on that one.
We do agree on that one. The Chief is here.
It's beautiful chaos.
Ben Spencer tells us what it's like to play with Finn Russell.
Maverick, calm, flash.
And it's the question we ask every year.
Can Leinster get over the line?
It's the short straw, isn't it? It's been a tough couple of years in Europe for us, getting so close so many times.
For the love of European rugby, presented by JQ, the official automotive partners of the Investec Champions Cup and EPCR Challenge Cup.
Len, I've seen the pink JQ7 outside, looking delightful.
Yeah, mate, 4 hours took me today, but it was a dream.
Yeah?
No issues, mate. No issues.
No need to stop? No? Straight down the...
I can go back there, and then probably have to fill up again.
Oh,
so
flying, mate.
Yeah, mate, it's good to see you, mate.
You too, my friend. You too.
How exciting is this? European Cup. We're on the horizon.
I know. I love this competition. I never got very far, but I loved it, mate.
No, the closest I ever got to the trophy was walking out in a quarter-final when they have it on display. That's the closest I ever come to it.
Me too, my brother.
Yeah, it looks great, though.
I mean, knocked you out, Leinster?
Great, yeah, Leinster often knocks us out. Yeah. On that note, with our partners, we can actually use clips now. So if you can watch it on YouTube or Spotify, of course you're going to listen. But if you can, we'll be able to show you clips. You'll be able to break things down and give you a bit more detail of why things happen, how they happened, and give you the footage with it.
That is elite, Len. And whilst you're on there, you need to subscribe. A fair few of you haven't, and we need more subscribers. So get to it.
Subscribe, follow, get stuck into the comments, and do exactly as the man said. Now, we are joined by none other than Hugo Keenan of Leinster and Jamie George of Saracens. And out of us four, only one person has lifted the European Cup. I stand corrected. He's actually lifted it 3 times.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it was a long time ago now. But yeah, we've obviously got quite a lot of history in the competition. So it'd be nice to be back in the mix this year over the next couple of years. And yeah, we're not in a bad spot. We've had a decent enough start to the season. Obviously, Owen coming back has really strengthened our squad. So fingers crossed we can go one more.
This might be a stupid question, but what was your favourite one?
Probably the last one when we beat Leinster. Sorry, mate. It was at St James's Park. It was cool, like the way that the game went. Like Leinster dominated us pretty much the whole way through, but we sort of stayed in the fight a little bit, so it was good.
Hugo, how's the injury, mate? How you coming along?
It's all right. So I would have gotten surgery the week after our Lions tour, so I was sort of hanging on by a thread by that stage. But 3 months into it now, hopefully back in January. So it's getting there, yeah.
He didn't need any anaesthetic. He was just like willing to just put to sleep after the week we had after.
Come on, we've got to talk about it. Take us there. Come on,
like the series winner here. Like,
come on, we got to talk about it. That moment, that try, that feeling.
It was pretty cool. I think it was yourself and Mac lifting me up after. That's a pretty special pick. Yeah, pretty cool moment for me. A load of family there, a load of friends there. Still a bit surreal. But yeah, had good crack that night and a few days after and the week after that too.
It's a real John Terry moment for me, that.
That's all right, you
just like flown in, like played like one game.
Brought a bit of energy.
Giving it the big one.
Mate, that's your third. You've been on 3 tours, mate. Don't do yourself justice like that, mate. You earned the right.
Appreciate it.
What stage did you know, like, Ikatal, I'm going in and out of you? Like, what was the cue, or was it just instincts?
It was a bit of instinct, and then I looked to the left, and it was Jack Conan, and he dropped the ball over the line only a few minutes before. So
man took a straight shot,
turned into a carry picture.
This is going took it under the jumper. But yeah, no, didn't really know what was happening. It's just instinct at that stage.
Couldn't happen to a better man though. Like some man, the people's champion of the tour. Like everyone was absolutely buzzing for you, Barry. So
why Barry? Talk to me.
Because I just think of EastEnders straight away, as in Barry. You know Barry from East? No, you wouldn't know.
Bit of a long story. It's an evolution of a few names. Started with Barnett. Barnett's like a haircut. Had a few dodgy ones back in the day. Still probably get a fair few. That turned into Baz, into Barry, and then a few abbreviations off the back of it.
I didn't know if it was like, when someone has a drink and they change personalities. They're like Barry. Hugo turns to Barry on a night out. Like, if it was one of those.
Maybe a bit to do that.
We're obviously at the Champions Cup media day. Hugo, being Leinster, these must be like the worst days for you because you must get asked the same thing that we're going to ask you, of course, is this Leinster's year? What about the last 3 years? What's going on? Is today like, when you look at your teammates, is whoever gets on this trip, is it like, oh, unlucky? You've got to answer the same questions a million times.
Yeah, it's the short straw, isn't it? I think they shaft an injured lad normally, so it's rubbing a bit of salt in the wounds, I think. But yeah, it's been a tough couple of years in Europe for us, getting so close so many times. Obviously the 2019 year I was in the academy, wasn't over in St James's Park, but 2018 obviously Bilbao, bit of history there, so hopefully this year bit of luck can go our way and we can be back there.
With the history with Leinster, Hugo, is it set out sort of early, or is it just goes with the territory of like, this is every year it's the same goal?
I think so. I think that's a lucky position to be in, that you're always competing for Europe or seen to be. So it's definitely the focus for us this year, not forgetting the URC, but I suppose itching that scratch last year and winning that with the heartbreak that came with that Northampton game just means we're probably a bit more focused and looking forward to getting back in Europe and righting a few wrongs. So yeah, looking forward to watching the lads over the next few weeks and a few big games to kick us off.
I think we're also aware of how difficult that's going to be, especially I think it's getting harder and harder for English teams to do it, which is why Northampton's run last year was so impressive. But yeah, of course, like that's why we're here, that's why we turn up. Like, we've got a difficult group, but it's like I said, we've got history in the competition and we want to be back up there.
The French teams are so good right now and seem to have a big say in Europe. What's it like playing against those teams?
Tough enough. But like attritional, like club rugby in France is tough, I'd say. Yeah, we've got two tough teams this year in Clermont and Toulouse. They're both going to be very difficult games. They're full of, I think, you know, Barry mentioned it earlier, like the strength and depth that you need to go far in this competition. And like, you know, they're stacked, aren't they? And, you know, you just look at Toulouse and, you know, you think without Dupont, they might look a little bit different, but actually like they seem to have, everyone's like stepped up. They've got a lot of good young players coming in. So like we're fully aware that that's going to be a tough challenge for us, both those games. And like, you know, we can see that French rugby is in a good spot at the minute, isn't it?
They are also some of the most memorable victories if you go there and win. I'd be saying for you, Hugo, like going away in France to those hostile, like you get the win. You don't forget those ones.
It can be like season career defining, you know, like they're the ones that you probably look back, like now you lads have retired, like probably those are the games that you look back on, right? So like it has that feel to it. And like, you know, we spoke about earlier, like going into different environments that people have not been to before, like that bit's really, really special. And, you know, the buzz before the game in French stadiums is pretty epic. So that's what makes one of the reasons why this tournament's so special, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we've had some good rivalries now over the last few years with Toulouse, La Rochelle and the like. So we've obviously got La Rochelle again this year. It seems like them and Leicester are nailed on in our fixture list. But it's cool getting away to those sides. Like as Jinxie touched on, like the atmosphere in those stadiums, the passion they have is phenomenal. Getting down to Bayonne this year, I think something we're excited about. They love rugby down there, and yeah, big crowds, and they can be special days and big wins and special memories that you can create as a rugby player.
I think some of these French away trips, you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, but is the closest thing you'll get to like a Premiership football environment, i.e. you're going into their ground, their fans love it, passionate, flares going round. So I think that all adds to why going away feels a bit different in France than it does away in Wales or Scotland, you know?
Europe obviously opens up the door for matchups, and obviously Marchand is one in Toulouse. You obviously potentially play Dan Sheehan later on in the tournament and guys like that. So you get to play against those guys. When that fixture, do you look at that, Jamie, and you think, yeah, like this is why I love Europe, because I get to go against these type of players?
Yeah, I think like any aspirational player, like wants to measure themselves against the best, and like that's the best bit about international rugby. That's the best bit about being on a Lions tour, being able to work with the likes of Dan Sheehan. Like I learned a huge amount from him. He's obviously a lot younger than I am, but like what he can do on a rugby field is unlike anything I've seen from a hooker ever, really. So that's exactly what you do. And I don't necessarily know, when the fixtures come out, but like in the week you'll know that you're coming up. Marchand is a fantastic player. I played against him a lot. But I think rugby is probably getting more and more away from like individual matchups. There's so much more to a game than 1v1. And I know that from a media side, like that's great to hype that stuff up. But like you're playing to lose, and I'm probably thinking about a little bit more than just Marchand. And so if you get a result there, like I've probably had to deal with the person that I'm playing opposite, but also tried to help out, being able to get to DuPont and Intermac and all that kind of thing. So, that's why wins like that, if you were able to beat a team like Toulouse, it'd be one that you remember for a long time, because it's like that complete performance that's required to beat the best teams around.
You mentioned Toulouse there, and Jamie, you will play them in January. And I want to talk about them and how they play. And remember, you can watch this on YouTube and on Spotify. One thing you notice straight away is their carry power. And if you look at this is against Leicester. And I was in the stands with Coley this day, and I was shocked at their ability to win collisions, then offload. As you see, they get the offload away. And if you look on the left-hand side, people are flooding. They decide to go right, recycle the ball, super quick ball, and people are just flooding those channels. He's got 3 men on the outside, plays the shoulder ball and crashes over. The next example, again, their ability to play out the back of shape, get to those wider channels. You see Ramos here, looking to keep the ball alive all the time, looking for little corridors, winning collisions. What do they get? Speed of ball. Dupont gets out, puts it behind one runner, hits Jack Willis. He's looking for an offload. He doesn't allow it to happen. It's like a bombardment. It's like wave after wave of red shirts just coming at you. Playing short again as it plays on. Cross just gets out and carries, not waiting for anyone. And I love this. This epitomised them. Little pop, Flamont gets the offload straight away. That's him twice involved with 2 offloads. Again, their ability to find space, get the ball to edge. So nothing looks like it's really on. Losing a collision, offload, flipping the ball around. Again, passing. Someone gives them a bit of direction. But it's what they do on the back of what looks like very little shape. Play out the back. You can see the backs all sort of stagnant. Short passes, then one offload, they all come alive. Second offload, there's 3 players in the picture there. And it's their ability to win collisions and flood through corridors and get offloads. Last year, we took them on, and Michael Checker set the scene brilliantly. He came in a meeting on a Monday morning. He said, put your hands up if anyone's gone to Toulouse and won. Of course, no one in the room had, apart from himself. So he stood there very proudly with his hand above his head. He said, I've got the perfect game plan. We took 80. And turns out that game plan wasn't very good. Great guy, great coach, but he got that one wrong. I was in the stands that day, and by the end, I think I picked up a little Toulouse flag, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? They are really good at rugby. So
He picked a Toulouse flag.
honestly, mate, so Jamie, mate, you'll do a better job than us, mate.
Yeah, I'll get on the phone to Checker and see what he's got there.
Enjoy that one. Yeah.
Ask him what went wrong
Send me his
that
number,
day.
mate. Yeah. 'Cause we'll watch that game back and do everything opposite.
We'll hear more from Barry and Jinx in a bit, but let's stay in France. We've been chatting to our old teammate, Manu Tuilagi, who is now playing his rugby out in Bayonne. Right. With all, you could probably hear a lot of laughter, and there's no surprise there's laughter because Manu's just turned up. Chief, how are you? How's Bayonne, Matt? I love the kit, by the way. You look great.
Yeah,
how are you?
It's good, brother. It's not a bad place to live and play rugby, so I'm enjoying it. The family are loving it, which is the main thing.
Talk to me about this ritual you've got. I see this video of you jumping in a pool every day. Talk me through what the hell's going on there.
Every morning, straight into the pool before
Not heated?
Before training. No, it's
You love ice baths.
yeah. Basically, it's my ritual to every morning wake the system up. Coffee in the car.
And the crepe.
Yeah, that was that's after. No, that's after. No, that was the World Cup. Le Touquet, the best crepe.
Is it?
Yeah, there is a crepe place down at the beach, but for the kids.
Yeah,
just
sure.
for the kids.
Okay.
Well, Henry obviously owns a catering business in Perpignan, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So are you going to do a crepe business when you finish, mate, when you finish playing?
Maybe a coffee shop, actually.
Yeah, to be fair, you are the king of coffee.
He's a man of many talents, hidden talents.
No, a lot of
isn't
people wouldn't know it.
No,
There's no
Yeah,
There's a lot
you
of
can play
talent.
the guitar, can't you?
no, a little bit.
You can play the guitar.
Guitar, barista. What else we got? Swimmer.
Speak multiple languages.
There you go.
Swimmer.
Mate, the world is your oyster, Chief.
A Wim Hof expert. Right, mate, you are the king of ice. Just maybe because actually, to be fair, it's probably worth talking about though. Recovery has changed no end, right? And obviously you've had your injuries throughout your career, Manu. But recovery is something that you took incredibly serious. Certainly the latter end of your career. What made you go towards that route? Like, did it feel forced upon, or just felt like it was time to change?
I think because I had a lot of injuries, and I needed to look after the body if I wanted to play a bit longer. So the training is tough. You need to recover well, and for me, I'm still thankful I'm still playing now because I've had some terrible injuries.
Now that you're in south of France, God, it sounds good, doesn't it? South of France. You are looking so well, mate.
He's glowing.
He's
glowing.
Do you like, now you're there and you experience it, and obviously a lot of your brothers went out there and played, so you know it, and some of them obviously still live out there now. For you, now you're there, Chief, are you like, yeah, like I can see why they loved it so much, and a part of you thinks maybe I could have come earlier in my career?
I definitely, when I first went, because all the boys before was, you got to come to France. It's amazing, and for me, I wanted to do that at some point. I'm so thankful that I've got to experience France. I'm really enjoying it. It's amazing, the way of life. Both my brothers live there still in Perpignan and Carcassonne. For me, maybe after stay there is a good place for my kids.
Have you changed anything with what you've done compared to what you did in England, or is it the sun?
It's definitely the sun and red wine, I think. I think that's just the quality of the... I think...
And the sardines. Have you seen the clip of him and the sardines?
No.
So they did this sardines challenge at Bayonne. I'll let you tell. Go on.
No, we had the sardines. We were with the...
Is this initiation?
The military. No, we went to the military on our day off. We were supposed to do just team building. We had a tough couple of days before. We thought, I'll get there, just a team building, end up running 9K.
Brilliant.
On your day off.
Cheers, have that.
That's when we had the sardines. The guys brought in the sardines to like a challenge. Obviously, we love fish, like fresh fish. In the clip, it looks like the boys are not enjoying it. They're spitting it out.
Is he like a Labrador in a dog bowl? Like just
everyone else is like, and Chief slays.
But it was delicious. But I think where the boys went wrong, they ate the head. But the head has got all this nasty thing stuck to it. So you bit it off and spit it out, and then eat the rest of the fish. Is delicious.
All the technique.
Mate, this guy knows
cultured guy. He's cultured.
Obviously, Europe coming up. But what is top 14 like? Because the French teams have been hugely successful in Europe. Manu, what is the top 14 like?
It's beautiful chaos. The way they play the game, and when I first obviously watching the national team, you think, everyone talks about the French flair, the way they play the game, throwing offload, keep the ball moving. And then I moved there. It's the way that they live, it's the way they play the game. I see it every day. Some of the tries that you see in training, you just like, wow. So when you see it in the games, top 14, it's normal. We try and bring in a little bit of structure, but the way the French boys play, especially United in 10, they control everything, and whatever they see, you got to be on your toes the whole time.
French mentality around the European Cup, does it excite? It break from top 14. They do very well in the comp.
Huge, and especially the home games. In France, playing at home is everything, which is a different story when you go away, but at home, it's the best. And you look at the big teams in France, your Bordeaux, your Toulouse, your Toulon, La Rochelle, those are the big boys. And those boys will always be there and thereabout.
Chief, you've played with some of the best centres in English history or in the world, to be fair, at some points. Faz, JJ, Slady, etc. But you're actually playing with, in my opinion, one of the best centres in European rugby at the moment in Sorelli Madala.
Yeah.
How is it playing with him?
He's unbelievable. I literally say to him, I'm just going to give you the ball.
Literally.
And, yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah, he is a joke. But people don't know about him.
No, well, they soon will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was quite... when I saw the autumn, I was hoping that they would pair him up with Tuisova.
Yeah.
I mean, that is scary, isn't it? Him and Tuisova together.
I mean, Manu and Madala's not exactly
Yeah. No worries. Trial on's that way, lads. We're gonna kick shorts. I don't want anyone having a run up. Yeah, but yeah.
Basically, when we're stuck, you just give the ball to Makala and you'll make anything happen. Bro.
Yeah.
He's unreal.
That is a dangerous combination.
So I've been thinking, right, Chief, I've seen the Run It Straight challenge, right? And I think you're a perfect candidate for it, which then got me thinking, and your nephew, Paul Solo, plays for Perpignan, of course.
Yeah.
Is there any chance of what would your nephew, you're going to look after him or you're going to teach him who's boss if you play?
If I play, I would try and stay away from him.
He is massive, isn't he?
You see the size of him?
He's huge.
No, bro. I'll be like, hey, stay on that side, man.
Well, actually, to be fair, if you did hurt him, you'd have to answer to Henry, mate. And that's a scary thing. That's not good for anyone. That is not good for anyone. Christmas this year, obviously the photo circulates every year of all you brothers together. There's a famous one. And I think you're all maybe on the whiskey. Where's Christmas this year, mate? Are you having a family gathering?
At Henry's. He does his business, catering business now for the Umu. Maybe we'll have a few pigs and a few lamb.
Could you just explain what an Umu is to people? Because most people don't know what it is.
Umu is a tradition, Samoan way of cooking with the rocks on the floor. So you heat up the rocks for 1 hour with all the firewood, and then after an hour you lay it flat, get all the firewood off, put whatever you want in, the meat, the taro, potatoes, put the rocks around it, put the foil so it's nice and clean, and then put the wet sacks, potato sacks on top so to stop the heating come off. And 1 hour is...
1 hour? Is that all it takes?
1 hour.
Is it?
Falls off the bone, mate.
Yeah.
1 hour.
Chief did one at Leicester before, yeah.
Yeah, because the people's like, 1 hour, nah, it's not possible. At Henry's catering, they say, no, it's not possible. And Henry's like, we wait for after. And they literally get a pig out. Henry's just like, he don't even use the knife.
To be fair, have heard stories of some of the Samoan boys. I think it was at Exeter. Obviously moved into a rented house, dug up the garden, and then pissed off. Let the landlord deal with that.
Landlord ringing the team manager. Oh my God. Talking of Samoa, Chief, it's been circulating that perhaps next World Cup that you might be eligible to play. Is that something you're keen on?
Yeah, it came on my social media.
Is that the first you heard about it? Was it like, hang on?
I was like, oh, well, might be playing for someone in the World Cup. Yeah, because there was a quote I saw in it. I think it's from when I was playing for England. And I was like, for me, like that quote's like, I never said that. Well, now you can write anything. Eh? So, but for me, World Cup is huge, and I think it's still a couple of years away. If I do want to go, or there's an opportunity, you want to go there and be able to compete. It's the World Cup. It's the peak of the game. So we'll see.
This week. Wednesday, actually, they announced the pools. So if England and Samoa are in the same pool, and for those who don't know, Manu's oldest brother is Freddie, who is an absolute legend.
It's crazy.
Freddie might pull a few contacts, mate, and you might be playing for Samoa. Like, would you look at that? I mean, if the opportunity came around, say there's great centres and everything, and I totally agree, Manu, but to represent your heritage and everything like that, and to go to another World Cup and almost do that would be pretty wicked, though.
Yeah, it would be. It would be amazing. I think over the years I've always said like, now I play for England now. I probably thought it'll be never have the opportunity. So if there's an opportunity and to represent Samoa, it'll be an honour. But like I say, you go to the World Cup, you want to turn up and be able to compete at the highest level. It's not just something like I'm going. You have to think about it a lot.
Chief, honestly, great seeing you look so well, mate. Honestly, I can tell you love him in rugby.
Thank you, brother.
Glad the family's great. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Look after yourself, mate. Look after
cheers.
yourself. And how good hearing from Chief. He's in great spirits. Safe to say we didn't learn too much about French rugby, but we certainly know that he's having a great time out there, and that is fantastic to see. Now, next up, of course, is Bordeaux, and you've got to say they are one of the favourites to win it again. LBB, Penno on the wings. I do think they could go back to back.
Mate, he's a joke. Honestly, I think, I obviously made that statement about World Player of the Year the other day, and then, comes on the weekend and has an absolute stormer. So now I feel like an absolute donut. But he is just on a different level at the moment. I think whenever he touches the ball, he makes something happen. And Penno's almost not dropped down a tier, of course, that's not fair. But Bielbarri's definitely stolen the limelight. And you'll know Hugo as well. They're both decent in the air. So, they are very rounded wingers.
Yeah, he's obviously such a good try scorer. He's outrageous pace. It seems to pop up the end of everything. And then Penno, you don't know what you're going to get with him. He's got that bit of X factor about him. Loves nearly running across the pitch half the time and making breaks. So,
do they sort of epitomise what French rugby is, though, Jamie? As in massive forwards that kind of beat you up. It goes a bit stagnant, couple of offloads, give it to the rapid guys who go and finish it. And then sort of nothing happens for sort of 10, 15 minutes. But they have these amazing game breakers whilst you're sort of in the cold face of it, trying to deal with these huge humans that are just sort of plodding along. Sound about right?
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah. I've been I'm just in the tumble dryer in the middle of the field, just getting chewed up. No, look, I think what French rugby do very well is they create space for people like LBB and Penno, they go forward in the middle of the field. They try and tighten you up in the middle of the field, actually. And then, that's a nightmare for outside backs who, if all the forwards are around the ruck and they can give Bielbarri a little bit, 1 metre or 2 metres more space on his own, then that's an absolute win. So, I think whilst, you look at the outside backs in a one-on-one situation, they're saying it's a flip of a coin. So actually, a lot of the responsibility has got to be on the forwards and the guys in the middle of the field being able to dominate a gain line, but also giving you enough width to help these guys out, because it is difficult.
You've played against them a few times now, right? How much prep would you do going into play one of those two now, or would you just trust the work that you've already done on them?
You'd trust a bit of the work, but you'd always go through. We've got one or two very good analysis lads, Vinny Hammond, who'd often go through, I suppose, key individuals and their names that constantly sort of pop up for key threats in a French backline or a Bordeaux backline. But yeah, there's a bit of both, bit of trust in what you've done in the past, but seeing what the latest trends are, how they're wreaking havoc, what they've added to their game, because I'm sure that's what they're looking to do.
Super nosy question. Okay. What would you actually do? LBB loves this chip and chase. If you're a fullback, last line of defence, what are you doing to try to take that away?
Close down the space as soon as possible. It's easier said than done, but if he can't get that kick away, he can't, I suppose, burn you on on the turn back. So it's trying to be connected to the front line as much as possible, shutting down the space early, or else you're pretty screwed.
Remember, you can watch this on YouTube and Spotify.
I've been watching clips of LBB and Penno. Left-hand scrum. Now, Bordeaux have a gigantic pack, but what they also have is absolute speedsters. And on this play in particular, if you look Jalabert, he goes nice and square to start with before going out the back of 12. 10 to 12, 13 on lead, comes back to Jalabert. What they also do is put 15 on a short ball. And what they're trying to do is give LBB that opportunity on the outside, and they get it. He links up with Penno, gives it back inside. Now, this try is chalked off, but it's an example of how they preserve the space on the outside by manipulating the midfield and getting Penno and LBB into those wider channels. Luku breaks left, and all that does is just have to affect the backfield a little bit. 8 picks, hits 12, and it's that shape again going out the back to 10. By manipulating Luku going left, change the backfield, gives all that space for Penno to run down the kick and score in the corner.
In behind it goes, Damien Penno! Just like that!
Yeah, as a fullback, you obviously have to appreciate the 8-9 left, because Luku obviously has all that left corner to drop it on his toe and put it in there. So you've got to kind of hedge your bets one side, and in this instant, he's hedged his bets left, which is fine. But I think the issue comes with how fast he goes up into the line. You've kind of, as a defensive fullback in this position, you've kind of got to be in between and wait and have the speed to be able to get up and cut the pass, but also be able to drop back. The speed at which Munster's fullback closes the gate opens up that space. And when you've got, like you said, the wheels of Damien Penno and Louis Bilberry, you're not going to turn and catch them up to get the ball. So very smart executed play by Bordeaux just to manipulate the backfield and, like you said, open up the space for the speedsters.
Bordeaux in a maul here and it goes down. But as you can see, they go nice and direct. But on the back of being direct, Luku threads it through to Jalabert, and look at all that space. Penno is literally on the touchline. Great kick from Jalabert, great partnership. Finds a space, Penno into the corner. So it's not only their ability to get you on the outside with ball in hand, but it's also their ability to get to you through their kicking game.
Yeah, it's the speed of ball that kills them there, Len. It's the speed of ball that Bordeaux are able to execute at. It just means that everyone tightens up and it opens that space up for the wingers.
That's Bordeaux, and they start on Saturday against the Vodacom Bulls away.
What do you make of the South African teams in Europe?
I think they've been involved in the comp long enough now that we see one of the teams go deep. And I think the success they've had in the URC, I think the success they've had as an international outfit, and a lot of those guys are involved in those club teams. Of course, some play in Japan, but a majority of them are involved in those club teams. I think when they're at home, you don't see many teams go there. I mean, the Bulls lost last year to the Saints, and it was a bit of the way they won it was almost ridiculous. You know, I don't expect teams going there and winning. The big issue comes from them coming over here, and can they back it up? Can they take the squad? Can people sort of play the calendar year for international colours, then play for their club team, win the home games, but of course then get on a long haul and get themselves to France and play in those games? I think if they do that, if they get themselves in a position, and I'm thinking about the Stormers here, I'm talking about the Bulls, I'm talking about the Sharks, if they get themselves into knockout rugby where they play consecutive weekends at home, then I suddenly look at them and think they are real contenders. The biggest issue for them is always going to be the travel and making sure they've got enough run in their legs with the team they've got. But I think it's about time we see the best version of those teams in the European Cup.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can see some improvements in that this year.
For Love of Rugby is presented by JCU, the official automotive partners of the Investec Champions Cup and the EPCR Challenge Cup.
Len, you've driven here today in the JQ7. How many miles was that?
176 miles.
According to my quick maths, I believe that leaves you 569 miles left.
I didn't know you were so talented at maths, but that sounds about right. Did you know? 745 miles in the JQ7, thanks to super hybrid system, which, with a full tank of fuel and a fully charged battery, can provide up to 745 miles driving range. There are 2 versions available. Choose from a petrol model or the super hybrid system, with up to 56 miles of electric-only driving.
And you don't have to get it in pink. You can get it in black, white, silver, preferably blacked out. I think that's what I'd go for.
That is your style.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the pink option. It has hidden door handles, sleek lights. Check out the bold front grille. It's roomy, reliable, looks incredibly sexy, and you can book your test drive today at your local JCU dealership or visit jcu.co.uk. Right, Tove, more from Hugo and Jamie in a sec, but let's go through all the pools. Pool A, Toulouse, Clermont, the Sharks, Saracens, Glasgow, Sale. Tasty. Springs to mind.
Yeah, that's a clear favourite.
Who finished top on that?
Oh, mate, it's Toulouse.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah, their strength in depth across the whole squad is a joke. And Dupont's back pretty soon. He'll change the game. I don't know. I just can't see past Toulouse right now.
Now, one team I want to talk about is Glasgow. I played against them last year, and the variety in strikes and the way they moved the ball was very impressive, and we couldn't stop it on the night. And I want to do a deep dive into Glasgow and the type of strikes they do and what they run and how they run it so effectively. So if you can, I advise you to watch this on YouTube or Spotify. This is where we've got the access to the footage, and we're going to break it down for you with Ant. So Glasgow go to a maul, and you can see that Coley's really locking down the short side, just making sure they can't go blind. He's doing a great job, to be fair to him. And they're not looking to go blind because they are going to the open. They run this stock standard shape, which a lot of teams run. You've seen it so often. 9 to 12, 13 on a lead. And what Hastings does, if you see, pulls that depth. Winger comes to that shoulder, and then that face ball just goes across the winger into fullback's hands, get to an edge, and then speed a ball absolutely kills it. But Glasgow run this shape a lot, and it's something they're always looking to do. It's trying to isolate that 13 and winger to make a decision and flood in those wider channels. We'll see another example of this scrum, and Ant's going to talk us through this one.
Yeah, so obviously this is, like you said, Len, this is a pretty standard shape that a lot of teams run. I think that where Glasgow are probably streaks ahead of the opponents in the way they run it is they've obviously got great personnel to be able to do it. Having Tuilagi as the primary ball player in this position means that it's impossible for an opponent 10 to kind of swim off him, or even the 12, because he's such a good ball carrier in his own right that you can't just leave him. And then you look at all the options they've got. So obviously here we can see them numbered up. You've got 1, 2, 3, and then if you put 4 on top of Carl Steyn, you'd have 4 potential options, right? And that makes it really difficult because, you know, obviously Tuilagi can hit the lead line, he can hit Hastings or whoever the 10 is, or he can hit Carl Steyn on a miss pass. So it makes it really, really difficult, and the defence has to sit off. This looks like a play that Glasgow run 5, 6, 7 times in training every week because of how sleek it is. And the amount of variety to one play that they can have makes it really, really difficult to defend.
And on this, you're really isolating. This is Racing 92 they're playing against here, is the 13. He has a huge decision here because as the ball comes out the back to 10, he doesn't know whether it's jamming him or he goes to Carl Steyn on the shoulder, but simply the miss pass then just beats him into that space and away they go. This shape I'm really impressed with. So this is from a kickoff, and Glasgow do this quite a lot. It's a 4-man pod. Often you see forwards from sidelines doing it as a 3-man, but this one is a 4-man. What they'll do is they'll hit the third attacker, as you can see in the diagram here, and that will cut out so many defenders that Leicester have got in and around the ruck, getting that extra bit wider. Once we hit that third man, you can see there's going to be a lead runner as well, and that will be the 4th attacker. The 4th attacker pops into that space as well. Hastings is out the back, and all of a sudden you've cut out 6, 7 defenders, getting to those wider channels. Glasgow run it incredibly well. Once he gets out the back of shape, you can see there's 3 or 4 on the overlap, but they decide to play short, straight through the middle, and Glasgow gone back-to-back scores. Very, very impressive. It looks off the cuff. It isn't. It's structured, but it's executed incredibly well.
I think the other thing to mention in this clip is obviously the hard line, but it's where the hard line is going. It's going at Leicester's last forward defender. So what that does is it means that Solomon Nakata, who's the first back here, has got a lot of ground on his inside to cover up. So that kind of isolates the back line in defence, and that makes it really challenging. Now look, Sol Kata's got half the pitch with one other defender to cover, all because of where that hard line's come in. So Pool A looks like the strongest pool. Who have we got in Pool B?
So in Pool B, Ant, we've got Bath. I'm really excited to see how they go this season. Toulon, Munster, Cast, Edinburgh and Gloucester.
I'm thinking that Toulon are going to finish top of that pool.
So you're going for Toulon. How do you think Bath will get on this season?
I think they'll definitely be there or thereabouts. They'll definitely get to the knockout rounds. It's kind of how the draw unfolds after that, you know. If they've got Leinster away, it could be a challenging one, but I think they'll go far.
So, semi-finals?
Final.
You reckon Bath going to get final?
Yeah.
You
Going
do?
for it, yeah. Put my neck on the line
You've
there.
literally just said it depends what route they got. And now you're gone, they're getting to the final. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Right, Pool C is Leinster, Leicester, Quins, La Rochelle, Bayonne, the Stormers.
Jesus, Leinster and La Rochelle just every year.
I know, they literally can't avoid each other, can they?
And Leicester.
And Leicester. I mean,
Oh.
Leicester and Leinster. I mean, I must have played them so many times in the last, 4 or 5 years.
Who finishes top? Leinster. I mean, yeah, 14 Lions plus Slimani, RG Snyman and Rico Ioane. If they don't finish top, it's a disgrace.
Yeah, I don't see how they cannot finish top. I just can't see it other than them finishing top. And of course, then finishing top, getting a load of points, and then having a good run at home to get themselves to maybe another final, perhaps.
Exactly. And finally, Len, who we got in Pool D?
Pool D is Bordeaux, Bristol Bears, Scarlets, Poe, Northampton, the Bulls.
And top of Pool D will be undoubtedly
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux, yeah,
Bordeaux,
thank you.
yeah, correct.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
agree on that one.
We do
Good,
agree on
good,
that one.
Good.
Your earliest Champions Cup memories growing up, what are they?
Like not playing in, growing up.
Just
Probably-
your earliest memory of it. Oh, no, not growing up, just your earliest memory of it.
Probably like that Wasps team, maybe. I don't know what year that would be, but like the Delalio, Rob Howley, where did they play? Toulouse? I'm a Norse. They played Toulouse in that final. Was it
exactly where it was. He knows exactly who
Left
scored.
corner, Twickenham, something like that.
Who was it? Poitrino? He didn't.
Probably Poitrino, yeah. Yeah, that was probably me.
I'd say 2009 final, Leinster beating Northampton. There was a famous comeback. Sexto, I think, coming on in around half-time, having a day, and yeah, probably stands out as a young fella watching on.
Was he so influential to your team that it almost now, is there a lot of emphasis now for Prendergast to kind of grab hold of it to his level, or is it very much no, he needs to just be his own man?
Yeah, I think he has to be his own man. You're never going to emulate Sexto. I think by the end of his career, he was nearly like a player coach in itself. He was so influential to the team, but also to the environment, to other players, to even my progression as a player as well. I owe him a lot. And then Sammy, just, I suppose there's no point trying to fill the boots of Sexto. He has to be his own man, do it his own way, lead in his own way, and he's certainly got the talent to be as good of a player as him. So that's, I think, the exciting bit.
And who facilitates that kind of like leadership role from a back's perspective now that he's obviously gone?
Again, it's a number of players. I don't think anybody just jumps in and does it. It's all hands on deck. I suppose big players for us both in Leinster and Ireland are the likes of Ringer, Gemmo, these sort of more experienced lads who would have learned off Sexto. But everyone's entitled to chip in and play their part, and I think it goes a long way to fill his void that he's left.
And I think it would be rude if we're talking about Sexton to not mention Rico Ioane coming in. How's that going to go down?
Good. It's if Sexto was in the building, maybe differently, but I think he actually gets in today or tomorrow. Yeah. So he was obviously on New Zealand duties and had a couple of days off. So yeah, I think he's expecting to be in the building shortly, which is exciting for us, and get another calibre of player. Like Geordie was obviously unbelievable last year, and what a guy. So we're excited to have Rico and see what he's about.
How do you keep everyone happy at Leinster? Like, full of internationals, conveyor belt of talent comes through. Like, how do you keep the entire squad happy?
Yeah, good question. It's a tough job for the coaches. Like, so many quality players, so many internationals all wanting to get minutes to play their part. But I think that's just a bonus for us, just having that depth, there's obviously a good few injuries in squad now, so it's needed for such a big season where it's sort of big game after big game. You're going from autumn internationals into European Cups, into sort of our interpros, back into Europe and Six Nations. So it's that day and age where you need a big squad, and I think it's sort of one of the points of this difference for Leinster is that. I've
always wondered, do you get like a heads up to say, right, Europe kicks off again in 2 weeks' time, so you're playing that and get yourself right, you got 2 weeks leading? Because that always strikes me that maybe you guys come in and you've sort of maybe feel a bit better prepared than perhaps some of the Prem clubs that have bashed each other up and absolutely down to the bare bones. But your depth sort of shines through. Jamie's nodding.
Well done, man. Fair play.
Jamie,
I would love that. I would love that.
I think your first game's Clermont, is it? Yeah.
And well, they don't
have a big squad, so you'll be fine, mate.
Jinx would be ready for Sharks away. He ain't missing that South Africa trip.
Clubs, mate. Sorry, Barry. Don't call you Barry. It feels weird calling you Barry. I'm going to call you Barry. I'm going to go with it. You said it's okay. I'm calling you Barry.
Yeah, I suppose a lot of the English lads are straight in, are they? I think a lot of the Irish guys are on holidays this week, so
tough life.
It's a balance. You have to get a bit of match fitness, match hardness as well. It's hard coming straight in. For the lads who are on holidays, flick the switch and come straight into a Harlequins Champions Cup game this week as well. So I'm sure they're not complaining, but it has its benefits, pros and cons to it though as well.
I'm sure you'll be all right against Quins.
Yeah.
I agree. You will be fine.
And Northampton last year in the semi-final, what did you make of them and how they played?
They were good on their day. They took their chances. We were bit weak in sort of small things like kick chase and scraps off kicks, and they punished us, and they have the calibre of player and the likes of Finn Smith, Pollock, all making big plays on the day. Lads who I've gotten to know since. But yeah, still hurting from that. I'm probably not the only one in the squad still hurting from it.
Let's actually have a look at that semi-final, Northampton versus Leinster, and there's a couple of key moments that lead to tries that I want to break down. Of course, you can watch this on YouTube and Spotify. Saints' ability to distribute in the forwards is a huge advantage. So on this occasion, they hit Alex Coles as the 1. They've got Langdon as the 2, getting into that seam. Dingwall out the back as 3, and over the top. Could have gone all the way over to Freeman, and they're running as the corner. This was the same game where this shape popped up a lot of times. Northampton taking the lead, of course, and eventually winning this game. If we look at a try that they did earlier on in that game, again, Mitchell bouncing left. It's almost a set-up play, and this time it's Henry Pollock. So they're bouncing back right, hits Pollock, driving at the line. You got 2 coming at inside shoulders, getting a bite out of that defender. You got Finn Smith out the back, and again, flooding those channels. Now, Leinster play a real blitz defence, which is hard to get around. But if you control your feet and your forwards that can distribute within that shape, that is what you get. You preserve the edge, you tighten them up, and Saints had a field day exploiting that blitz defence against the edge. They also look like they had a lot of fun doing it. And Jenks, you've been in camp with them. Tell me, Freeman, Dingwall, Smith, Mitchell, Pollock, Coles, what are they like?
Yeah, they are like massively full of energy, and like, you know, they're a very, very tight-knit group, and like they're great. Like all of those lads that you've mentioned, like again, I'm really, really well with, and they add a huge amount to the group at the minute. And you know, you can see that the sort of connections that they're making at Northampton and how tight they all are. So yeah, it's no surprise that they're a tough team to beat, and I think they'll probably be good again this year in Europe.
I think it wasn't too surprising when we went into Lions camp that first week in the Shelbourne that all the Leinster lads seemed to be rooming with Northampton fellas.
Yeah.
I was straight into Finn Smith, so it was a good little icebreaker.
Who had Pollock?
I think
So
Gemmo.
was it?
Was it, yeah?
Gemmo, Pollock, yeah.
What was
So,
did the game come up,
I don't
or was
think
it
it was
just
a
like just
coincidence. I don't think it was
elephant
a
in the room and
coincidence.
no one talk about it? No one talk about it?
Took a few hours.
When we had Pollock on, he just said that Sexton kept showing the clips of Leinster running over him in the semi-final. So
They had the weirdest interactions, and they're like, it was just bizarre the whole time. Like, and I still remember like the first bit, because Pollock's just an idiot, right? Like everyone talks about Pollock, and I love him, but like, so this kid's like 19 or whatever he was, going on a Lions tour no one expected him to go on, and like Johnny still like mucks in with training. So like the first week of training, we were training as UCD, was it?
Yeah.
And like, anyways, Johnny's kicking restarts. He can still put the ball on the money, right? So Pollock's like in behind catching the ball, catches the ball, kicks it to Sexton, and Sexton like sort of takes his eye off it, drops the ball, and Pollock's like, way! We're like, Pollock, shut up. Like, this guy's like rugby royalty. And there's Pollock like, way, lucky buddy.
and then like, he wasn't even
He
concentrating.
didn't even like, you know, like he's getting like thousands of balls like just being like booted at him, and he's like, I'm like, everyone just sort of like turns and stares at Pollock. They're like, mate, shut up. But it just carried on the whole way through. It was like weird. It was like they like a little man crush on each
So
other.
they obviously had a good relationship, but in a very weird way.
It was bizarre, yeah.
I can't imagine too many people get away with taking the piss out of Johnny Sexton.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Like, no one really like has a pop.
No one's probably ever been there. Have they done that?
Certainly when you don't know him well, when you know him well, you can get stuck into him. But yeah, it was a funny
confident
relationship.
start.
Yeah. They
I wouldn't
get
have said
on well
boo
though.
to
There
him in
was
2017.
give as you get.
We should actually get Pollock and Sexton on for this new segment, because we have partnered up with Investec to bring you the very best Champions Cup coverage this season, because we both have an ambition to raise the game. Investec are world-class partners across banking. And so this season, we're going to do a deep dive into the world-class partnerships you can expect to see in the Investec Champions Cup. And first up, Bath's England scrum half, Ben Spencer. Ben Spencer, or Spenny, your world-class partner is Finn Russell. How would you sum him up in 3 words?
I would go maverick, calm, flash.
With the, like the Maverick and the calm stuff, but as a halfback, how do you manage that? Because you almost got, it's both, right? So you need the Maverick part, but it also can't be so loose that you need the control part. So with that partnership, how did you begin that partnership, getting to know each other, learning about wants and needs? Did you take a hold of that, or did he take a hold of that?
It's a little bit of a funny story, actually. We had, when Finn came to the club, we had a social at the start of the year, and I'm probably like quite quiet off the pitch, and sort of the night went on, and he actually just got me in a headlock in the middle of a bar, and he said, just give me the ball, and I'll do the rest. So that's how we kicked it off, and yeah, I think that's probably sums Finn up to a T. Really, like everyone sees this character, and that's just who he is. An unbelievable guy to play with, and great family man off the pitch. So yeah, he's a quality bloke.
I love that. So just straight off, headlock, give us the ball. Yeah, you can work with that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You obviously played with Faz at Saracens, played with Finn at Bath, played with George at England, Finn Smith, Marcus Smith. What allows the partnership to flourish? Because, as you say, you played with a variety of hugely talented 10s. What do they all sort of have in common that you think, okay, it's an easy starting ground?
Firstly, I think confidence. I think they just ooze confidence, and it gives you a huge amount of confidence too, knowing that when you give the ball to them, they're more often not going to make the right decision. So yeah, I think for me, especially Finn coming in, 2 years ago now, he makes the game look so easy, but also puts the rest of his teammates at ease, and he's taken a huge amount of pressure off myself, and you know, he definitely brings the best out of people around him.
Just obviously being captain, Spenny, and having a lot to deal with, how much does you and Finn share that load of obviously responsibility of talking about the attacking part of the game?
I think obviously with Lee Blackett being at the club,
who's the now England coach, isn't he? The attack coach, correct?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, obviously with him being there last year, you know, him and Finn, you know, took the reins in that area. The easy part for me about being captain at the club is there's a lot of great leaders around me. And I think you'll probably have experienced it at Leicester in terms of, you know, having people to lean on and to share that load with you is huge. So the likes of, you know, Charlie Ewells, Tom Dunn, we mentioned Finn already. Like, I have loads of guys there who I can have conversations with, whether it be in the week or whether it be during the game. I think to have those people around you is great.
Right, Spenny, we've got some footage here, mate. So just kind of talk around that partnership. So you're obviously playing here, it's bog standard shape, but Finn getting an offload. And at this stage now, when you've got a bend, are you just taking control here?
Yeah, I think so. I think you get a good feel of how the sort of the play is going to end up. Obviously, once we get into the 22, we're quite
direct.
Yeah,
you're direct, very direct. Yeah,
use our forwards quite heavily. So I'm just sort of trying to marshal the troops here, and then, you know, I think whilst all this is going on, I think Finn and the backs are obviously looking for any holes, if the defence is tightening up, any opportunities to get the ball wide.
Because here you're almost, you know, a good 2 meters behind the forwards, just letting them do their thing. You can see Finn on the left of you, Spenny, and you're just sort of letting it, and you're almost just waiting for that call. Are you seeing the opportunity, or are you just waiting for Finn to call it here? Because obviously it leads to a try, show and go. But you just almost sat back and let them do their work, and then you're just waiting for that opportunity.
Yeah, I think so. I think Finn and the rest of the backs here are the eyes in this play. I think, you know, I'm sort of letting the forwards do their work, and then as soon as Finn calls for the ball, it's about getting it to him that phase, rather than 2 or 3 phases later when maybe the opportunity isn't there.
Well, best of luck in the Champions Cup, Spenny. Thanks so much for joining, and thank you for sharing your partnership with Finn Russell.
No problem.
Cheers, mate. That was Investec's world-class partnerships, and there'll be more of that next week. Bath, of course, play Munster on Saturday night.
I want to ask Jamie George about how good Noah Kalori can be.
Yeah, he is freakish. Like, he genuinely is freakish. I think what the nice thing about him is, like, it's funny, isn't it? Like, this generational thing, and like me as an old bloke now in the team comes in and you see that he's got millions of followers on TikTok, and I'm immediately like, that's a red flag. But actually, like he's actually a really nice kid, and he's got his head down, he's learned, and like, he is by no means the final product. Like, he's got a lot to learn. He's raw, but like, athletically, I've genuinely not seen many better than him. And I remember I got asked to do a shirt presentation before an under-18s game, and he was playing in. And he literally did exactly what he did against Sale in that game, and he just like completely dominant. And I'd never seen anything like it, if I'm honest. Like, and we kicked the first restart of the game, and he just ran through, caught the ball, stepped the fullback and scored. And I'm like, this is just like, it's a cheat code. Like, it is. And like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it looked easy enough. But he, like, you know, you look at the influence he had on that game. Like, what I guess where I'm a little bit not skeptical, but wary is, like, you know, there's a lot of talk about him. There's a lot of hype about him, and rightly so, because he's stepped up and he's a confident kid who's done brilliant things in the Premiership. But, you know, he isn't the finished product. Like, he's still got a lot to learn. And, you know, I think people should also be aware of that.
I think he's got all the tools, mate. He's got all the tools to be a a world-class international rugby player. I think that what separates you from being able to do it and having the skills to do it is probably all mental. It's all in your head, and it's all kind of, I guess, the groundwork behind that. You know, like how the people supporting him, are they encouraging him to do the right stuff? All of that type of those little bits. But raw talent, undisputed, 100%. He can do it. He can do anything he wants.
Given the fact he's at Sarries and given the amount of leaders and world-class players they've got, I'm pretty sure that they'll shape him quite nicely to have those attributes.
Oh, 100%, mate. I think even from just, you know, like a winger working with a 10 doesn't get much better than having Owen there day in, day out, you know, just picking up cues from him. And that's what, as you know, as a halfback, mate, what you want from your winger is just to be able to put yourself in the right spots at the right time, or give you the option at least to go to him. And so I think having Owen around you and having someone who knows the game inside out will just push him in the right direction to learn about the game and to develop in the areas that other people may neglect.
Just the aerial battle, and obviously you talked about Noah and how good he is in the air, and obviously Hugo yourself. With that, and you as well, mate, when your back wasn't broke. But just like that, like just take like the listeners through that, like that one-on-one, because we're seeing it more now. The rules have changed; you can't block and everything like that. Is a genuine contest every time. From you, once that ball goes up and you're defending it, Hugo, like what is your approach to all the way to getting under it to launching up? Have you got any eyes on the defender? Is it just fixate on the ball? Just kind of give people a snippet of what that's like for you.
Yeah, it's just full focus on the ball. I suppose you can't have anything in your mind. You have to have a bit of an awareness for the safety of who you're coming up against. But I think once you fully commit, once you get your timing right, getting up in the air early, then you're going to be safe. I'm sure you probably agree. But no, I think it's exciting that it's become such a big part of the game for a fullback, for a back three players. Just the emphasis has gone up and up. I think the crowd appreciates it as well. There's always a good buzz, big cheer or roar when someone has a good catch. And it's a skill that I've got a bit of practicing to be doing if I'm up to Noah Clory's standards now. And
well, obviously he's 6'5".
You are very good.
You're very tall.
You're a good player.
and you're pretty good at it, mate. I think you're all right. Yeah, I think you go all right. Saracens obviously has a lot of English players in there, internationals, and of course Leinster has a huge amount of Irish. But how are the environments different to your international environments?
Well, like they're each unique in their own way. Do you know what I mean? Like I think what the one thing that we're probably building at England at the minute is like a club-like environment. Actually, like you know, we were all in environments previously. You've probably spoken about it in a book once or twice. Of the fact that like we didn't always necessarily enjoy ourselves.
It's available now, by the way.
Available
in case be on the line.
We didn't always
My Life in Rugby.
We didn't always enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? And then like you know, you go on line stores and you chat to lads and they're buzzing to be going into camp, and I didn't necessarily always feel that. I certainly didn't. But now I probably do. Like, and actually, you know, we're getting a lot more organic social interaction. You know, like there's people just enjoying being there, enjoying each other's company, and that's got that club feel to it. And I think probably the intensity of training and all that kind of thing does have to be higher when you're in international environments, just because it's the nature of the beast. But you probably wouldn't be able to get away from that with that for 365 days of the year at the club. So there's that sort of a little bit more relaxed vibe at the club probably. But like they each have their own unique culture and the way they go about things. So it's it's probably difficult to compare the two. Yeah,
it is difficult. But similar to what you touched on, like international camp, it's 24/7. You're in a hotel, you're surrounded by the lads all the time. It's great crack, it's intense, you work hard, but it's hard to sustain that for a long period of time. I suppose when you're back to club, you have your normal life outside of it. It's a bit more like your day job, your routines, and I think you can't beat the, I suppose, buzz of camp for us. I think Jamie experienced that on the Lions tour. What I suppose Faz and the coaches making the Irish environment is similar to that. That you can enjoy yourself when you're on and you work hard, but they do like you enjoying each other's company, having a beer after a game, relaxing a bit as well. So that's a nice balance at international level when the pressures are high and it's that intensity that I was talking of.
Who do you both room with when you go away with the club? On these away day European trips, who do you room with?
I have my own room.
Oh, shock. Big dog gets his own.
That's
Yeah,
nothing to do
no
with the big
fun.
dog. Like, I'm not
yeah.
sharing rooms anymore. Like, I've done it for too long. I've been by what is this?
You've
like,
earned the
my
right, mate.
My
You've earned the
18th
right.
season, I'm like, imagine like Noah rocks up. I want him to be able to do his own thing. Do you know what I mean? If he's rooming with me. So like Elliot sometimes, but if
of
not
course.
Elliot, then
Stupid.
yeah, he's a good roomie. Yeah, did you have him on tour?
I did, yeah, and I just started getting sick towards the end of it, and yeah, he looked after me well, to be fair to him. But I room with Josh Van der Fleer all the time, so
It's a great room.
yeah, he is. He's a sound lad. He'll do anything for you. He's a saint, so I'm lucky there.
With the magnitude of the games you've played at Test Arena, do like the European knockouts still feel as special? Do they almost feel more pressured? Like when you think about the Northampton game, the semi-final, what that game was like your take on that, does it feel even more pressure because of Leinster and the expectation?
Yeah, and the expectation builds up every year, I suppose, when you don't really fulfill it as well. So there is a bit of that, but I think both experiences blend into each other, and you take the learnings from international rugby, from those big games, and try to take it into Europe and these knockout sort of rugby games, because effectively Six Nations can be like that. World Cup's obviously going to be like that. But no, I think the European games are cool because you get to experience the likes of like your Welford Roads, playing in cool sort of proper club rugby stadiums, down to Bayonne this year for us as well. I'll hopefully be back for that, so that's one I'm targeting. We played a warm-up game for Ireland pre-World Cup down there, and it's a class stadium. It's a proper cool buzz, and they love rugby down there, so getting to those places I think is the special part of European rugby.
Well, it all kicks off this Friday night as Sale take on Glasgow. You can watch it all on Premier Sports. Jamie, best of luck. Saracens take on Clermont, of course, on Saturday. And Hugo, best of luck. Leinster take on Quins on Saturday as well. Get yourself fit. Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
And the final will be in Bilbao. Sounds pretty good, right?
I'm there.
I'm definitely there. Hopefully we'll see you two there. Thanks so much for joining.
Cheers, lads. Thanks.
Thank you.
You, of course, can watch all of the Investec Champions Cup games by joining Premier Sports. Just go to premiersports.com. Now, Ant, have you done your fantasy rugby team?
Well, Len, I've picked my fantasy team, and there's not a chance your team is better than mine.
Tone, you know I've got a great team. Don't doubt it for 1 second. In fact, we had some chats off air, and you're annoyed about the goal kicker I picked because you didn't think of it.
Yeah.
So unlucky. And if you'd like to play against us this season, you can. Simply click the link in the episode description or the link in our Instagram bio. We want a massive pool of THBs. The winner will get a signed something or a present. I'm not quite sure yet. But anyway, you're going to get something for the love of rugby for being the winner, but you ain't beating me. And Tone definitely ain't beating me. Right, before I show you my team, what's your team name?
Denzel Washington's Army.
Denzel Washington's Army?
Yeah.
I got a bit confused when I set it up, to be honest with you. And I just put Ben Young's THBs. Really simple. I didn't really quite...
Yeah, we're going to need to redo that, mate.
The name may be changed.
Okay, good.
Harder than I thought.
It is, isn't it?
Harder than I thought, I'll be honest with you. I went hard on backs to start with, and I realised I had nothing left for a decent back.
Mate, I had 1 million for my front row at one stage. So, yeah.
What's with the bench? That makes it even harder.
I know. It's aggressive.
At one point, I had Ramos, LBB, and Peno. And I was up to 20 mil deep already.
You wouldn't have been far off going with those three as well.
I know.
I think you've got to wait. You have got to weight your money towards the back three.
So what I've done, right, is I'm thinking try scorers, goal kickers, and assists.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I weighed up. And then back row, I was thinking jackals.
Yeah, the
Points
exact
for that.
same. But also in the back row, there are some try scorers. You know, I'm looking at a Ben Earl, mate. He's a try scorer.
Try scorer. Hookers, back and mauls.
I'm looking at a Bottia, back row and centre.
Can do a bit of all.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, who's your goal kicker? Who have you got down as goal kicking?
My goal kicker is a bit of a hybrid. Marcus Smith, because he scores a lot of tries.
So you got with Marcus Smith. The only issue there, Tone, is I'd say that their European campaign might be over by January.
There's a good chance, but I'm hoping that there's some kind of wild card that goes thrown in for the knockout rounds, because I've kept $500,000 just, budget
kept
spare.
$500,000 back?
I'm
That's
wheeler dealer, baby.
Well, my goal kicker is Ramos. The bloke don't miss. Toulouse are going to run right in some games. He'll be slotting all the goals. He'll be assisting. Some of the assists he does with his short kicking game. He's going to score tries.
That's a great shout. I might have
He's
to change.
expensive, but he's worth it.
Yeah, you need a goal kicker for a team that's going to score points.
I also went Prendergast Because my other theory is Leinster also run riot. He'll be involved in a lot of assists and a lot of goal kicks. You can only pick one kicker though, so I went with Ramos.
Yeah, great shout. Yep. Okay. Well, who have you got in your back three? That's my focus position group. So, who have you got?
Kapawatsu.
Okay.
Ramos.
Yep.
And then I had Rico Ioane.
Oh, on the bench, who's
covering? Jack Bracken.
Right. Okay. So you've gone for Galacticos.
Don't disrespect him.
No, I'm not disrespecting him, but you've been budget.
I tried to
put
all my budget into the 15.
So one injury and you're cooked.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Because Jack is a brilliant up and coming start, but he might not start.
Yeah, he may not, but he's rapido. What's your back three?
My back three is aggressive.
Go on.
Curtly Aronsa scores a lot of tries at home.
Yeah.
Might not travel away, but scores a lot of tries at home. Darcy Graham.
Yeah, that's smart.
Only $6 million. I think that's the biggest
That's a
bargain.
bargain. That's a real bargain.
The biggest bargain going. And I had to go with the unanimous people's champion of wingers, P. Elberry.
Yeah.
And then on the bench, my good friend Joe Coconasinger.
What was Joe coming in at? What was his?
$5 million, another bargain.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
That I could have maybe got him in.
Exactly.
And you got $500,000 to spare as well.
Exactly. So, mate, I'm happy with that back three. I think that's a nuanced, balanced, elite back three.
I'd like to know who you made captain as well. That's my last question on your fantasy team. And then, of course, the listeners can get involved as well. And I think they'll be able to check out our teams.
I'm yet to make a captain, but looking at this, I will be making Darcy Graham my captain.
Darcy Graham, your captain?
Yes, because I think he'll play all the games. He's unlikely to get rotated or rested. Edinburgh don't seem to do that too much in the Champions Cup. And scores a lot of tries, beats a lot of defenders. Stats are always crazy. Going with Darcy.
I've gone for Jack Willis because I'm assuming he'll carry on where he left off, which is getting loads of turnovers.
I'm just going to triple check that you actually get points for that. So let me look at the scoring system here. 2 points for starting player, 1 point substitute player, 2 results for your team winning, 1 for a draw, 5 for try normal rugby point scoring for tries, conversions, penalty kicks, but missed penalty kick is minus 0.5 points, which is interesting.
Ramos ain't missing, so I'm all right.
Okay, forwards winning 100% of the scrums, 2 points. Scrum won on an opponent's put-in, only 1. That feels harsh.
Should have gone South African pack, shouldn't I?
that feels harsh.
Yeah.
90% of lineouts, 2 points. 20% of opposition's lineouts, 1 point.
Mate, just get to Jacqueline.
Sorry, 1 point for a turnover.
1 point?
Yeah. That's not bad. You could end up with a good penalty.
Yeah, that's true.
To try for a turnover.
But I'm assuming you get double points for captain, so I might have to just change that.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ramos could be my captain.
There's some harsh ones in here, Missed tackles minus 0.5. You'd be screwed.
I would be on minus.
Minus 0.5 handling errors. I'd be screwed.
Coley would definitely be screwed.
Oh my God. Yellow card minus 4. Red card minus 8.
Ooh.
Coley would be screwed.
Coley would be screwed. Well, you can get involved, you THBs, and join our Fantasy Investec Champions Cup this season. The THBs will see you on there. Please click the link in the episode description or the link in our bio, and we'll see you in the fantasy world. This episode was presented by JCU, the official automotive partners of the Investec Champions Cup and the EPCR Challenge Cup. And we will be back on Monday to review round 1.
As ever, Len, we've had a fantastic day. So thank you, everyone, for listening. For the love of rugby.